Can't help myself. Boom, 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 double trouble. Boom, 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 double trouble. Hey, double trouble. Boom, 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 double trouble. Yeah, they coming for you. That's what they gonna do. They don't need a crew, cause they coming with two. Boom, 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 double trouble. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing, so y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Boom, 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 double trouble. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Been saying it, man. These dudes is crazy. Listen, we got twin brothers, right? Both of them champion, living in Texas, been champion for a while, for 3, 4 years. One of them got one defeat between both of the brothers, right? One defeat between both of them. And he avenged that. The titleist, man, wins over all kind of people, right? So what then happened is double trouble has struck, all right? They strike again. They're doing things, right? I think they'll be mega stars anywhere except America. It is what it is. These guys are, brash. They come to fight, and they're undefeated, and they have pretty damn good resumes. Now, I'm reading an article about the fight with Jermall Charlo. Let's talk about him first. Jermall, secured the deal, basically. It's pretty close to being done with Derevyanchenko, right? And they're thinking about putting on pay-per-view in September. Now, the article is going on about, well, pay-per-view right about now is risky. And it is, right? He's thinking about 50,000 buys or something like that, and it's really not worth doing pay-per-view. Probably. But the insinuation here is that the fight itself isn't worthy of pay-per-view. And I beg to differ, because Derevyanchenko, first of all, is probably the baddest dude in the middleweight division without a title. I think we can agree on that, because Danny Jacobs is not there anymore, and it's probably somebody bad that I'm just missing. But Derevyanchenko, man, first of all, what's up with Golovkin? Second of all, what was up with Jacobs? I'm in the mix here, right? So it's the baddest dude basically without a belt, right? And Jermall Charlo in the same fight. So that's pretty much, pay-per-view. You got the guy, this is how you sell a fight. You got the guy who beat Golovkin in his last fight. The guy who beat Golovkin had a split decision loss to Jacobs. That's a bad dude. Versus the guy who gave us this wonderful belt that we all so dearly adore, the franchise title. If it wasn't for Jermall Charlo, it would never exist. Now it exists. He's the guy you have to thank for that, because he became the mandatory challenger for Canelo Alvarez, and then the WBC made up a belt so Canelo doesn't have to fight as mandatory. And this is literally correct. People don't like when you say it, because things happen but you don't mention it. No, where the hell you think we are? That's absolutely ridiculous and absurd that something like that is possible, right? That somebody doesn't fight their mandatory and get a belt, and it's okay, right? Now, it's not just a mandatory who just lucked up and popped up and became mandatory, right? No, not this guy. This guy fought because this article insinuates his last 5 opponents were mediocre. Well, when you have an interim fight, that other guy is not mediocre. He's the guy who the WBC tells you better fight if you want this interim, which means I'm next in line to get a shot, right? So you fight that guy. One of them was kind of hurt on his knee, but he was in the fight, so he had to get knocked out. The other one, you got Highland and forget the other guy's name, man. But the 2 dudes, right, that he had to fight. One was a mandatory, and one was an interim. So that's not, those are pretty decent fighters there, right? And then you got Korobov in between there in a close fight, and everybody who fight Korobov is going to be in a close fight. Chris Eubank's fight with him was close too. This something happened. That wasn't it. Korobov is all that. So bottom line is Jermall can't really do more. Now, if he fights a Dennis Hogan, then you just leave it out there like it was fighting Dennis Hogan. But wasn't that the time when the WBC mandated Gennady Golovkin to fight him? To fight Jermall Charlo, right? And Gennady Golovkin said, I don't give a damn about your mandatory. That means, and for me, forever, that he fought Gennady Golovkin in my eyes. Others would say he still hasn't fought anybody. At that point, it throws in the trash damn can. Right? Right? That's how that happens. That means he's fought Golovkin. He was mandatory. They told him to, like they told Dillian White to do something, and he didn't do it. Then fight Ortiz, and then come back talking smack to him. right? When they told him to fight Ortiz, this is exactly what they did. They told Gennady Golovkin, you got to fight him. Golovkin said, no, I don't, and whatever. And watch, people ain't going to even say nothing. So don't even try it. What people ain't saying nothing, right? And will be mad at me for saying that. So that means he fought Golovkin in my eyes. So that's on his ledger, because Golovkin didn't do that. And he follows that up by becoming the mandatory, and Canelo gets the franchise belt and doesn't have to fight him. Now he is the real champion, WBC champion. So that's who Derenchenko is fighting. That's pay-per-view worthy. Those are two of the top 4 middleweights fighting, coming off of good wins. Just bad from the get-go. So if that's not pay-per-view worthy, I don't know what is. Because Canelo is not fighting. Look what Canelo's trying to fight right now. Golovkin is fighting Samareta. Okay? Samareta. And he, hell-bent on fighting Samareta. Ain't gonna fight nobody. You don't fight Samareta after Rose and Martirosyan. Now you put Derenchenko in there, and you barely got past him. And you should have just you could have said, hey, well, let me just figure out who I'm gonna fight. But I know it's gonna have to be Derenchenko. I'm gonna have to rematch that guy, right? No, didn't have to happen, and I have to fight Samareta because Samareta only got about 5 knockouts from 20-something fights, right? So that's the kind of stuff that's going on, but not with the Charlos, right? Not with the Charlos. They're trying to fight the very, very best, and I think that this is definitely a fight that's pay-per-view worthy. Now, when you talk a pandemic, then it's pandemic. You know what I mean? You can't really do nothing about that, right? But like I said, Derenchenko is not somebody who we can just say, oh, Charlo gonna beat him. And we know better than to do that. And Derenchenko, matter of fact, Derenchenko's so bad that we know how to say his name. You didn't know how to say his name in the beginning. Because you know how to say Derenchenko's name before the first fight with Jacobs? Hey man, the Ukrainian dude, Sergey, Darian something. That's how you was going to talk about it. Then you messed around and gave Jacobs a good fight, and towards the end of the fight, you got close to saying his name, Darian something, Darian Chunkin, that Chinko dude, right? You got closer. But after that Golovkin win, Darian Chinko, you know his damn name now, don't you? It just happens when an athlete just does something with one of them crazy names. Remember when Giannis came? Giannis came, in the NBA, and we was like, oh, this is a bad little dude, man, boom, ooh, Atita something, man, yeah, man, Atita. Yeah, that's the dude. Boom, he dunked on him again. Ooh, man, we gonna give him a name, the Greek Freak. Oh, wait a minute, coast to coast. Bam, dunked on somebody. Oh, spin move, left hand, dunked on somebody. Oh, somebody came up there with something weak, took it, went coast to coast on you, right? Laid it off to somebody at 6'11". So all of a sudden, boom, Antetokounmpo. Now all of a sudden, you ain't got no problem saying Antetokounmpo, can you? Do you? Antetokounmpo, damn it, because that's who the dude just dunked on you the other day, and my team is the best because I'm throwing down up in here. So you know that name, just like Derenchenko. So he earned the right for people to know how to pronounce his damn name. That means he's pretty damn good because that name ain't easy. Let's not even get it twisted. So bottom line is, that's a pretty damn good fight. It's worthy of pay-per-view in normal circumstances. And if we would have the narrative like it should be, when guys are not being fought by other guys and not being readdressed by other guys, and I'm talking like the Canelos and the Gennady Golovkins who won't readdress them, then the best two get together. Yeah, that's something. If we put the right narrative out there, right? That's something. So let me tell you something. For me, looking at these fights, because I ain't even got to Jamel yet, right? But looking at these fights, probably happy as damn near when Katie Taylor gonna fight that girl Delphine Pearson again. I'm happy for Pearson because I think she won the first fight, outworked Katie Taylor and stuff. But at least she's gonna get a rematch. Actually something else was supposed to go down with Lady Amanda Serrano, or what her name is. That didn't happen. So, you got Pearson stepping back in, which he should have been in the first time. She should have, because it was a unification match, which means if it's a unification match, we shouldn't be no cheating on the scorecards, no matter where it is, because I'm a champion too, damn it. I understand a little bit. Now, let's make this clear. When a champion is fighting a challenger, and it's a close fight, champions fight. And it should be that way because it's got to be something, and I've been consistent about this. It has to be something of when you become a champion, a real one. Now we ain't talking regulars and interims and all that. The real champion, they should be treated like as such. You know, it's a close fight is mine. You know what I mean? You know something. You know something. We got something going on. You know, that we are champions, so I don't have a problem with that. But Katie Taylor got a fight. It was a gift fight. It reminded me of Michael Grant versus Povetkin. Same thing. Michael Grant is undefeated in my eyes. Period. He beat Povetkin. That's why you know why I could tell you why he beat Povetkin because Dillian White fighting Povetkin. That's why. Because they ain't fighting the winner. It was a draw. Why are you fighting Povetkin? He got beat by a couple of other dudes and barely got by David Price. What's the reason there when your Michael Hunter's right there? They can kick Michael Hunter off the team. You too dangerous, man. You better get up out of here. Go over there and stand over there with Louis, the real King Kong Ortiz. We ain't got no time for no dangerous dudes over here pushing up on my main two dudes, Dillian and Joshua. We can't have that. And Michael Hunter and Louis Ortiz, damn sure, are pushing up on Dillian White and Anthony Joshua. So there's no place there, right? That's why they're both over there now, trying to figure out what they're going to do. Ain't nobody calling them either. That's how that goes. Now, Jermell Charlo is going to fight your boy Rosario, right? The dude who knocked out J-Rock. I'm going to go back and watch it and watch some more stuff. Let me tell you something. Jermell Charlo is bad as it is. You know, he beat Lubin, Hatley. Both of those guys are awesome. And I just, beat Manta Rosen, Valentin Manta Rosen at 154 pounds. That's a good win. Okay, that's a good win, right? At 154 pounds. And we got Trout on your ledger too. It was ridiculous. And he be getting beat by Tony Harrison, make Tony Harrison awesome. So he goes back and beats Tony Harrison. So there's nothing to talk about. That's why when you put him and his brother, that's ridiculous that they're not mega stars. I'm just somebody on the internet with 3 subscribers talking about Double Trouble. That's all they're gonna get. You man, somebody that these are mega stars, right? Straight up. So that's a good fight on the card with your brother. 2 brothers in one family. We ain't seen nothing like that since Klitschko's or the Williams sisters. What the hell going on? The very top of their craft. The very top of their craft. And two twins up in here. Both of us champions. It's ridiculous that that's not. Man, put them in any country. Dudes in Switzerland somewhere. It'd be the biggest thing in Switzerland walking around there. It'd be like we got our double chocolate up in here. Right? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. When I talk about them, it's just ridiculous. Almost as mad. I get almost as mad as I get with Demetrius Andrade because he's another story. But anyway, let me tell you something. This boy Jason Rosario, you would think because you probably didn't know him, like me, really, right? Well, you got J-Rock. You know, J-Rock can get stopped. You know what I mean? J-Rock can get stopped. He gonna beat you until you get stopped, right? He gonna beat you until you get stopped. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, Amir Khan gonna beat you till he gets stopped. You know what I'm saying? Tommy Hearns gonna beat you up, might knock you out till he gets stopped. You know, Vladimir Klitschko gonna beat the hell out of you till he gets stopped. Anthony Joshua, you know he gonna pound you till he gets stopped. And everybody in common have like little chin issues, but they still bad. You know what I'm saying? It's still bad. You don't have to get it because if you don't chin them, you losing. Bottom line, with most of those guys, I'm just mentioning, right? So at the end of the day, J-Rock, a win over J-Rock is still good. So Rosario came in there and got rid of J-Rock. Now you would think that's lucky. Now I've just looked through his resume and I'm extremely impressed. I'm extremely impressed with his resume, even though I don't know most of them guys. I'm just whatever. Okay, whatever. You don't start. They moved him up after this about 7th or 8th fight. They moved him up immediately because he's what is he? 20-1 with 21-1 with 14 KOs. All right, now I'm telling you, man, this dude done took 4 O's, 5 people with 1 loss. You know what I'm saying? And 3 twos. You know what I'm saying? So he's everybody's good. And his first when they moved him up, the guy fought with 3 losses was 24-3. I'm just saying, he hasn't been fighting anybody that you would consider a bum, if that's what you call him, or somebody. These guys, he stepped up early. And so what I'm just trying to say is, this is a good fight. And it's a unification fight, guys. So for those, you got the headliner would be Jermall Charlo and Derenchenko on the same card, Jermell Charlo and Jason Rosario, who just came off that big win. And he's the one with 2 belts. He got the WBA and the IBF, right? Your boy Charlo got the WBC. So that is just absolutely huge. Showtime coming here knocking down doors because they got a couple of cards coming up. But it doesn't matter. I mean, all of these things are basically, it's not speculation. It's farther than that, but at the end of the day, the way we live, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next week. Let's be real. When you look around, there's things that are going on around us right now that are unprecedented. And who knows what tomorrow may bring if we don't seem to get ourselves together. But if things happen and we're lucky enough to, be able to concentrate on a boxing match in 2 months, then this is going to be one of them. So let's check it out. Boom, 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 double trouble. Boom, boom. Y'all know what time it is. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. I got to get up out of here.